What is the definitive Sonic experience? Excluding the 2D games, what Sonic game truly gets it all right? What is the game that if I were to show it to a normie or a friend who doesn't get Sonic, that would cohesively show them what Sonic's all about? I'll be thinking about this from a gameplay point of view. Story does matter a little when showing someone something, but Sonic stories are something that can be explained in 5 seconds, or the stories are often better than the games. We're just looking for good old fast and fun Sonic games, no gimmicks to pad out the playtime, and no over-the-top gameplay style switches. Now, my first thought was the adventure games. To some, they do embody what Sonic's all about, and are fondly looked at by everybody but Boost gameplay fans and lolcows who purposefully play the game wrong and get angry. But these get eliminated almost immediately, because while being great Sonic experiences, Sonic is only 20% of the whole adventure package. If I showed someone SA1, I might have an easier time seeing as how Sonic gets his own story, but that's just one piece out of a larger puzzle. SA2, I'd only be playing Sonic or Shadow for like 3 stages, and the rest of the time I'd be playing with different gameplay styles that didn't make it past 2006. Now, some would agree that these differing playstyles are what makes these early 3D Sonic games them, but I don't think that would make for a definitive Sonic experience if I'm not playing Sonic most of the time. However, these games do get brownie points for being some of the most fun Sonic has controlled and great level design. Next is Heroes. I'm on the fence with this one because it is a fast-paced platformer that doesn't break and make you change the gameplay style, but it is very repetitive in nature. To be totally honest, I like what they did with the gameplay design here, and while it is slippery, the game is fun. It also has great level tropes, which is a Sonic staple. The only foreseeable problem I have is accessibility, since there's no Steam or modern re-release. I'll give this one a check, and we'll come back to it later. What about Sonic 06? No! Unless you play Project 06, but that doesn't count, it's a fan project. The storybook games? Also no. While they do have great characterization for Sonic, the controls hold those games back so much. Sonic Unleashed is another I'd be willing to consider, but the nighttime stages are just as much a part of the game as the day stages. And while I love this game to pieces, I don't think it's the definitive Sonic experience. It does make leaps and bounds though, showing us Sonic's true speed and great characterization, awesome reflex heavy stages that keep you on your toes with beautiful music. If it was only the daytime stages, then yes, but you'll undoubtedly be spending more time as the Werehog than Sonic himself. Amazing opening cutscene though, which brings us to Colors. With an extremely heavy heart and the most pain I've ever felt, I'll unfortunately have to give this one a check too. It is quite literally the daytime stages but in full game form, and is very beginner friendly. I think the writing sucks and the stages can be more 2D than 3D sometimes, but I think it's the best usage of the wisps, and the music is also heavenly. The stages are fast and fun, and Sonic controls nicely. Just play the original though. Sonic Generations and Shadow Gens, since it's the only way you can get OG Gens now. Colors has the edge on Gens because there's no classic Sonic with wonky controls. But other than that, I'd say Gens is a great starting point for new people and definitely one of the most definitive Sonic experiences. This is the best the Boost gameplay has been, both controls-wise and level design-wise. Sonic controls like a dream, and no stage is too short or overstays its welcome. Even though classic Sonic isn't up to par with the OG games, he's still fun nonetheless. Sonic Gens gets a check. Side note, Shadow Gens, while technically not a Sonic game, it is packaged with Gens, so I won't get into it, but it's Frontiers and Boost perfected, so it'll get an honorable mention check. Sonic Lost World. While I do like the game, it is not fast and fun. The wisps are stinky here. It is just Sonic Galaxy, so the game loses massive points for no creativity, and the music, aside from having some notable tracks, isn't anything to go crazy on. The ideas of giving Sonic a run button and parkour are good on paper, but Sonic honestly feels so sluggish, and the parkour only works when it wants to. Also, fuck Lava Mountain Act 4. This game doesn't get a check. Forces. No. I wouldn't want to show someone mid and say Sonic's my goat. And last but not least, Sonic Frontiers. I'm heavily on the fence here, because this game doesn't scream Sonic the fast and fun platformer. While there are cyberspace stages that mimic the Boost gameplay, Sonic doesn't control all that well in them. The combat in Frontiers is cool, but the worlds are kind of generic. Though this game has great spectacle, I wouldn't call it a definitive Sonic experience. So, with all of those games out the way, it's now down to Sonic Heroes, Sonic Colors, and Sonic Gens. Interestingly enough, I'd knock Gens out. It's an anniversary title in which Sonic goes through his past stages, so there's no originals here. Plus, Classic Sonic, although fun, does kind of take away from the game a little. Another crazy decision I'd make is also knocking out Colors. While a great game, it does feel like a stripped down version of a Sonic game, which to be fair, Sonic needed at that point in time, but that doesn't help it in the long run. So that means out of all the games in the 3D lineup, Sonic Heroes stands as the definitive Sonic experience. Fast and fun gameplay that's never broken up by gameplay style switches, original level tropes that scream Sonic, and amazing music to give them life, great characterization, and my personal favorite look for the cast. Now yes, it does have its flaws. Repetition out the ass, those special stages can bite me, and the controls can be slippery at times, though I've never really had a problem with that, but it does pass all the qualifications with straight A's. This game was also the highest selling Sonic game, and won an award, just saying. Now, I know y'all do not agree with me, so in the comments tell me why, and what's your definitive Sonic experience. I'll see you guys for the Switch 2 presentation tomorrow. But yeah,